Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
1 week after that terrifying attack on a Good Samaritan, Garden City, the small business owner, is back at work sharing what he calls a testimony. We're glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Antoine Williams ran to get help after witnessing a serious car crash. Little did he know his life would change forever. Will Jones is live after speaking to Williams while he recovers. Will.
Kimberly and Devin, I tell you, it's hard to believe that Antoine Williams only spent a day in the hospital after being shot twice in the head. It just shows how fortunate he is. And of course, that is going to be on his mind as he moves forward with life.
This is my no salt seasons, my #1 seller right here.
Antoine Williams reopening his seasonings and sauces store today in Livonia.
This is my love, this is my passion. I built this from the ground up.
Last Tuesday, he was headed to MFR Seasonings and Sauces when he stopped at this Garden City gas station. Here, he witnessed a car crash and then tried to help. One of the drivers involved in the crash began firing shots, hitting Williams twice in the head. Then he chased after him. It was all captured on gas station surveillance video.
It was hard to watch. It was horror. It was like watching a horror movie.
And police may never know why the suspect fired at Williams and others at the gas station.
That's been on my mind since it happened. Like, why? You know, why did he try to hunt me down like an animal?
That morning, Williams fought for his life and more time with his family. His wife and children joined him for today's reopening.
It's really just surreal because he's here, and you know, the doctors and everyone said that he's most likely wasn't supposed to be here.
You're a religious person.
Yes.
And I was mentioning that you have a testimony. And what is that testimony?
Just God was over me, man. It's just I shouldn't be here right now. I'm definitely here for a reason.
After our interview today, Williams had a doctor's appointment. Doctors are still trying to figure out the next step. The bullets remain lodged in his head, but he is alive and okay. We are live tonight. Will Jones, Local 4.
Really amazing story. All right, Will. We turn now to an update on that home explosion from over the weekend that left 4 people dead in Northfield Township. It was a blast that rocked homes miles away. It left really nothing behind. Today, fire and police officials gave an update on where things stand in their investigation. We get to Victor Williams. We're hearing everyone killed was not from the area, right, Victor?
Yeah, that's correct, Devin, and it's just so tragic and sad that all of this played out. This entire family, they lived in Arkansas. We're as close as we can get to the site. As you guys can see right here, once this car moves out of the way, it's blocked off as the investigation continues.
There's nothing left of the property. I've never seen anything like it.
The rumblings of a deadly explosion are still being felt in Northfield Township as investigators work to figure out what caused a home on Winters Lane to explode over the weekend.
Everything's just blown into such small pieces that it's hard to make sense of what everything is.
This is all that's left.
We have an undetermined fuel air explosion that caused this explosion. We do not suspect any foul play at this time.
The explosion so powerful that it destroyed everything above the basement of the home. The deceased were only here for the holidays.
The 3 Bragg children, Don and Hope Bragg, were in from Arkansas visiting Hope's father, Richard, when this tragedy occurred.
The homeowner, 72-year-old Richard Pruden, and his grandson, 16-year-old Stephen Bragg, who was visiting from Arkansas, are the only 2 survivors. Don and Hope Bragg, 51 and 53, along with their 19-year-old daughter Elizabeth and 22-year-old son Kenneth, all passed away.
It's horrible. You know, they're from out of state, and the next of kin are from a different state, and you know, they're trying to take care of the ones that are still with us.
And police are asking everyone to avoid this area as much as possible. As you guys can see, it's blocked off for a reason. All of this is private property. We do know that this upcoming Saturday on January the 6th, there will be a vigil over at Whitmore Lake High for the victims. And if anyone wants to help this family out during this time that's just so unfortunate and so sudden, you can head over to our website, clickondetroit.com. In Northfield Township, Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor. Well, there's been some movement in the murder case of Samantha Wool. A probable cause conference for the suspect charged in her murder was held this morning. 28-year-old Michael Jackson Bolanos was charged with felony murder in Wool's death. Today's hearing was long awaited after it was delayed last week after prosecutors asked for more time to get a mountain of evidence to the defense. The next step is now a preliminary examination, which is scheduled 2 weeks from today, which is January 16th. All right, well, we managed to stay dry today, but not warm.
No.
The wind chill outside made it feel much colder than what the temperature was.
And the cold could be joined by some snow. We haven't said that very often. No, but as we get to the middle of the week, let's check in with Kim.
No, it doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? Definitely a mild December, and now we're heading into January with a little bit of a chill in the air. It's only 31 in Detroit and Howell, also in Pontiac. Jackpot, 80 also at 31 degrees. Low 30s everywhere you go. In fact, a lot of cities below freezing already. 31 in Lapeer and Pontiac, 31 at Metro, 30 in Ann Arbor. We've also had some winds that have been gusting as high as 29 miles per hour downtown. 25-mile-per-hour winds in Pontiac and 26-mile-per-hour winds out at the airport. So this is what it actually feels like when you combine the temperature with those winds. Feels like it's in the mid-20s in Pontiac, 22 in Mount Clemens and downtown, 21 at Metro and in Ann Arbor, and the current wind chill out in Howell and Lansing, both 23 degrees. Now tomorrow, normal high's 33, so technically we're above normal, but we just haven't seen that much sunshine, and it doesn't look like we'll see anytime soon. In fact, by tomorrow evening, we do have the possibility of a few snowflakes, maybe a light snow shower, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
Hey, Kim, thank you. The lack of snow is impacting businesses that specialize in winter recreation. Mount Brighton paused operations last week due to unseasonably warm weather and rain, but take a look at these photos released today. This is the current condition on the slopes after snow guns blasted snow for 16 hours overnight. Officials say they still don't have a reopening date, but expect to have one soon.
Well, we have two huge games approaching. Wolverines will be in Houston to play in the national championship game against Washington, and the Lions will be hosting their first playoff game in a long time.
So exciting. And ticket prices and demand, as you can imagine, are way up, and scammers are also hoping to get a piece of that action, too. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is live. Hank, the fake ticket posts are already out there, too.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kimberly, Devin, they are. I mean, kind of we expect that, right? I mean, as you mentioned, two huge games. We've got a Ford Field home playoff game here for our Detroit Lions. We also have that huge national championship game down in Texas. Ticket demand expected to be gigantic. And as you would expect, the scammers, they know it. The Detroit Lions at home and the University of Michigan on the road in Houston. Two big games coming up, and expect to pay a premium if you want to watch the action live. We've been doing a quick search online today for the Lions playoff game. The average ticket price about $775. You can find deals on Ticketmaster, StubHub, and also a good idea to check out the Lions box office. But you should be cautious because we're already seeing fake tickets posted on Craigslist. All right, let's take a look at the prices for the Lions home playoff game. We're on Ticketmaster right now, and for the nosebleed seats, 2 seats are going to cost you about $1,000. And those prices, they're only expected to go up as we approach the big game. One of the safest ways to buy a ticket, it is coming right here directly to the venue itself. In this case, Ford Field. The box office will be open once those tickets are released, and you can buy them right here. Ticket scammers are already out there. Here's Melanie Ducanow with the Better Business Bureau.
The bigger the ticket, the more likely the scam is going to be right behind it.
If you're thinking of heading to Houston, the average ticket about $1,100. Those already available on Ticketmaster and StubHub. You may also want to check in with your alumni organization. It's a safer bet because the scammers are going to be looking for you.
The minute something is really hot and everybody wants it, it's a great time for red flags and all kinds of scams to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, and I mean, all of these tickets are going to be red hot. I mean, the standing room only tickets for that playoff game, which we don't even know who we're playing just yet, those are going for hundreds of dollars. So it's just an opportunity to remind everybody to be cautious and safe. We want you to go to these games, have a lot of fun, but make sure the ticket you're buying is in fact legit. We're live here tonight at Ford Field. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Back to you.
Especially with that kind of money hanging in the balance. All right, Hank. Speaking of the Wolverines, we don't want to look too forward too quickly without celebrating the moments that got the team here. So tonight at 8 on Local 4 Plus, we're going to air an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at our Hobie Artigues Rose Bowl trip. You'll see never-before-seen interviews with the players and so much more. Check that out, Local 4 Plus, tonight at 8 p.m.
Yeah. It's going to be nice. Yep. All right, if you buy your ground beef in bulk, listen up. Thousands of pounds of beef products have been recalled due to a risk of E. coli, and some were shipped here to the state of Michigan. The USDA says the beef was produced by Valley Meats on December 22nd. Officials say the E. coli contamination was discovered via routine testing. The meat was sold in quantities ranging from 12 pounds to 40 pounds. So we're talking about in bulk here. There have not been any reports of illness, but the products may still be in many freezers.
The Iowa caucuses are now less than 2 weeks away, and Republican presidential hopefuls are busy on the campaign trail. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has gone all in on Iowa, visiting every county in that state. Nikki Haley, meanwhile, is visiting New Hampshire, which, of course, is the second state to cast ballots in 2024. Both trying to gain ground on former President Trump, who still has a commanding lead in the polls. They will soon get together and get another chance to make an impact on voters. CNN reporting that Haley and DeSantis are going to take part in next week's debate in Iowa. Former President Trump, again, opting out, and he will instead that night be holding a town hall.